all set for the Portuguese Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go. Bottas and Hamilton both getting it away well. Perez not the best start, and he's already got the Ferrari alongside him and ahead as Bottas goes into turn one in the lead from Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. Then comes Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez, but no contact so far. Bottas getting away well.
So a great run then for Ocon too, in for the Alpine, who have been having a stellar weekend. But Lando Norris charging around the outside of turn 11, and the left-hander of 12 gives him the high ground.
Oh, go Lando! What a move from Lando Norris. Gets past Esteban Ocon and up into 6th place and back up into 6th place ahead of Charles Leclerc. Out in front, it's Valtteri Bottas that will lead them down the straight for the first time in this race. Daniel Ricciardo is up into 14th ahead of Fernando Alonso, and someone's made contact, and there is Kimi Raikkonen, who has lost half of his front wing going down the main straight.
I wonder if we're going to need some kind of safety car for that, especially if he buries it in the gravel. But if there's going to be a lot of debris on what is a really fast part of the racetrack, full safety car.
And was there contact?
I'd be pretty sure that's had a knock somewhere around the lap, and the pylons was on his teammate actually.
Safety car is in. Through the heat haze come 19 Formula One cars. Hamilton trying to pull out of the slipstream that Max Verstappen's getting behind him. Verstappen goes into turn one ahead of Hamilton. Got a little bit squirrely on the exit of turn one, but that was a great move by Max Verstappen. He's up into 2nd place.
Verstappen was fine for track limits, but Hamilton was even further off the track anyway, so don't imagine that's going to be a problem.
There goes Lando Norris down the inside. Lando Norris is up into 4th place ahead of Sergio Perez. Hamilton is within striking distance of the Red Bull down the straight. Bottas continues to lead them. We're on lap 11 of 66. Here comes Hamilton on Max Verstappen. Hamilton retakes that 2nd place ahead of the Red Bull, and that move started all the way back at turn 14 as Verstappen tries to fight it into turn 4. Hamilton just stays ahead.
What are we going to see now?
It's Perez on Norris.
Nice move.
If it was indeed a move, then that Red Bull has very much got some top-line speed. We ride on board with Lewis Hamilton, but let's see how much he's going to be staring and how much he's going to be gaining down the main straight here. The gap was 0.8 of a second at the end of the last lap. It's half a second as they cross the line now. Hamilton's got DRS. He's within touching distance of his teammate. He's ahead of his teammate. Lewis Hamilton goes round the outside of Valtteri Bottas. And wow, what another good move that was from the world champion.
So Valtteri's really gone heavily right, look. So he's pinched himself into turn one, and Lewis has just played the angles and steamed around the outside.
Red Bull are going to pull the trigger and take the gamble with Max Verstappen and make the first pit stop of the top 3 runners.
Verstappen is boxing, pick up the pace.
It needs to be 2 seconds to give Valtteri a real fighting chance. That's sweet, that's not so bad. What's the time, Crofty, as it comes up?
3.3 seconds.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Bottas should stay out in front here, although Verstappen is gaining on him very, very swiftly. But it was enough of a gap that Bottas had over Verstappen to get into the pits and out ahead. Question now, Martin Brundle on colder tyres. Can he stay ahead?
This is his moment, look at that. Sliding like crazy as Valtteri Bottas trying to get the power down, and immediately then Verstappen has a run at the inside down into turn 5. He's got all the track position he needs. Now he will just finish the job off, and that all started when Bottas lit up the rear axle and Max just came up the inside of him with more confidence, more knowledge, more tyre temperature. What's this going to tell us?
Sergio Perez behind Nikita Mazepin.
Oh, come on, it's
dear.
the leader.
Well, that's Nikita Mazepin about to be lapped.
Oh, the idiot.
Sergio Perez, I think, summing up what most of the Red Bull pit wall will have thought about that particular move as well. Hamilton now half a second behind Sergio Perez. If he has held Hamilton up, he certainly hasn't held him up for very long whatsoever. And Lewis Hamilton takes the lead of the Portuguese Grand Prix on lap 51.
Fully flags. Nope, you're racing him. He's yet to stop.
Here comes Fernando Alonso. He's got DRS on Daniel Ricciardo. Down the main straight we go. Alonso moves past and round the outside of Ricciardo and into 9th.
He does. 2 points.
As Latifi does lock up, And Mick Schumacher slips through and up into 7th place. And
you said 7th, I think you, well, I know you meant 17th.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Getting carried away with myself. There'll be a lot of 7th places eventually, I think, for this young man.
There it is for Bottas then, a 1:19.8. What can Max do on the final tour? And now Verstappen's the fastest man in the first sector of anybody for the entire Grand Prix.
First 3 Portuguese Grand Prix won by Racing Knights, and Sir Lewis Hamilton's been night and day ahead of the rest here in Portimao this afternoon. He wins the Portuguese Grand Prix. Max Verstappen is battling for the fastest lap of the race to add to the 18 points that he's going to pick up for 2nd place. Hamilton will increase his lead at the top of the championship. Whatever happens on this lap for Max Verstappen, Red Bull just did not have the pace in the second half of this race to challenge Mercedes today. Verstappen comes home for 2nd place and takes the fastest lap as well. And Valtteri Bottas will come home to take the 3rd place on the podium.
Was Verstappen within the red and white curb in turn 14? And yes, Verstappen's time is deleted for track limits at turn 14.
There's 97 wins now for Lewis Hamilton in Formula 1. Red Bull will think, right, what do we now need to do to beat Mercedes? And Mercedes will think, what do we need to do to stay ahead of Red Bull? And they haven't got much thinking time. We're off to Barcelona in just a few days. It was certainly Mercedes' day here in the Algarve at the Portuguese Grand Prix. Perez back in 4th. A shout out to Lando Norris for a 5th place. A race that, well, he was under pressure at the start, but had to pull off a couple of really good moves of his own to make his way back towards that top 5. Leclerc for Ferrari, impressive once again, and solid in 6th place. Behind Ocon, his teammate Fernando Alonso. Daniel Ricciardo picks up 2 points after starting from 16th on the grid. And Pierre Gasly gets the final point of this race ahead of Carlos Sainz, who ran out of tyres and grip towards the end of this race. And all the talk was about Red Bull coming to challenge the Mercedes grip on the championship. Well, Mercedes have shown this afternoon they're not ready to let that grip loosen just yet.